It's a nice family photo.
You'd never know.
You never know.
You'd never know, looking at old pictures of David Good's mother, that she was anything other than a typical New Jersey housewife.
This looks like at the beach at the Jersey Shore.
In fact, David himself never really noticed.
Sunglasses, she's just hanging.
Did you recognize that she was different than other people's moms?
When she left. Before that, I don't remember being cognizant of the fact that she was this Amazonian jungle woman. No, she was just mom to me, you know.
David's mom, Yarima, grew up 3,000 miles away in southern Venezuela near the headwaters of the Orinoco River. This is Yanomama territory, home to some of the most primitive and isolated tribespeople on the planet.
I studied the Yanomami over a 12-year period.
David's father, Ken Good, is an anthropology professor at New Jersey City University.
Take notes.
While doing his field work back in the 70s and 80s, he lived in Yarima's village, basically became part of it, fell in love with the people in general, and one person in particular.
Yeah, that was a little unexpected.
He and Yarima were betrothed and eventually moved to the States. Ken says for Yarima, that was an unimaginable journey.
You know, we got to the airport and I'm getting the bags, and over here some guy starts up a Jeep, and then I found her hiding in the bushes. She thought it was an animal.
She thought the Jeep was an animal?
Yeah, the headlights, the roar. Then it started moving, but she never saw a wheel, how a wheel works or anything like that.
It was like she went through a time machine or through a portal and went through a whole different cosmos. And every artifact, every mentefact, every sociofact of this culture, of this realm, was absolutely foreign to her. And I couldn't imagine just what that was like for her.
She didn't know the jungle ever ended.
Nope, she thought the whole world was the Amazon jungle. And, you know, when my dad said, you know, let's come to my village of New Jersey, she thought she was just going to another Shabano, you know, another Yanomama village.
Considering all that, she seemed to adapt pretty well to this alternate universe. She and Ken had 3 children, and Yarima was an excellent mom by all accounts. And yet, after 6 years, during a visit back to the jungle to see her family, Yarima told Ken she just couldn't go back to America. And she didn't.
How could she leave her kids?
The eternal question. I've had more comments, particularly from women.
Who can't understand?
No.
How do you look at it?
I look at it as the intolerable situation for her. She said people weren't meant to live this way.
What did she mean?
Just the idea of, in an impersonal world, walking by strangers all the time. A lot of them weren't even so friendly. That was not within their cognition that that's a way to live.
Ken, the professor, was able to intellectualize it. The 2 youngest were able to move past it. But David, who was 5 at the time, never got over his mom's leaving.
I internalized it as abandonment as a kid, yeah, and felt like it wasn't good enough for her.
In school, when kids asked you, where's your mom, what would you say?
That my mom had died in a car crash. That was the most effective response, because then they stopped asking questions.
And why didn't you want people to ask questions?
Because all my friends' moms drove them to soccer practice, you know, picked them up. What's my mom doing? Oh, she's naked in the jungle eating tarantulas. So, like, I was...
I guess that's understandable
Yeah.
when you put it that way.
Yeah, exactly. So,
David pretended his mother never existed.
I just wanted to be a typical American kid.
It wasn't always easy. For example, he remembers going on a class field trip to the Museum of Natural History in New York City.
It's just bad luck.
Their guide just happened to take them to the section on South American tribes.
Of all the sections that we could be visiting.
Just happened to show them an exhibit on the Yanomama, which just happened to include a picture his dad took
Here it is.
of his mom.
Bam, right in my face.
David says he did what any embarrassed 10-year-old would do.
I think I ran around this way, and I just found like a dark corner somewhere and just hid there until the rest of the group caught up. Yeah. Imagine like every day, every single day, you know, people gonna find out, are people gonna find out? You know, it gets to you after a while.
Eventually, that nagging worry evolved into a total hatred for his mother. Until one day, while in college, he came across a copy of an old book his dad published back in 1991. It's about his mom, and just reading it, just finally getting to know her, flipped a switch.
It just, the floodgates opened, complete 180. I went from absolutely detesting my heritage to being completely proud of it. And I knew that this day was going to come. I knew I had to embark on this mission, on this quest to go back and reunite with my mom.
It was a quest much easier dreamt than done. The nearest landing strip is still 3 days away from the village, and there are no roads to it, only rivers with rapids you have to go up.
Oh, man.
And after all that, there was still no guarantee he'd even find her. The Yanomama can be nomadic. She could have been long gone. But fortunately for David, she was here, ready and willing to pick up right where they left off 20 years earlier.
I made it. Put my hand on her shoulder, and I was so nervous, and I couldn't talk to her, she couldn't talk to me. And then all of a sudden, just remembering that comforting feeling of having a mother, and that's when I broke down and lost it.
They both lost it. Mother and son spent the next few weeks hunting for crabs, gathering plantains, and reminiscing about the old days back in New Jersey. One thing David didn't do was ask her why she left. Says he didn't need to. He says over the course of that visit, which was in 2011, and a second visit last year, he has come to understand perfectly why she had to be here.
They don't experience loneliness. They don't experience anxiety. They're teaching me how to be human. They're teaching me how to live.
To that end, David recently launched The Good Project. It's a nonprofit based on the campus of East Stroudsburg University in Pennsylvania, where David is working on his master's in biology. He says the project will serve as a bridge between the Yanomama and the rest of us, mainly so we can learn from one another. Of course, this project will require many more visits to the Amazon, which is fine by Yarima. Before he left last time, she told him, "It's hard on me when you're gone so long. Don't take so long before you come back." David says, not a problem.
Someday I'm not going to have a mom. And I just spent 2 decades of rejecting my mom. So I want to embrace every opportunity, every moment to be with her and hang out with her.
Your story it's truly unique. It's one of a kind. But there feels like there's something universal in it.
Family's family, you know. No matter if, you know, she makes me a peanut butter jelly sandwich or, you know, presents me with a piranha head and say, eat this, you know.
Mom's a
So
mom.
mom's a mom, no matter what. Yeah.